Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about the truth about freelance design. And I specifically want to answer the question, is it really the holy grail when it comes to your design career? Is it like the best thing ever? Or there's some cons? And the reality is that there are many cons actually. And I want to discuss them in this video. But before we go into the cons, I actually want to talk about the pros. And by the way, I've been a freelancer for many years. When I graduated in London from university, I went pretty much almost straight into freelancing. I mean, I had a part-time design job for a startup that had some funding. Apart from that, it was just like part-time, so I started freelancing right away. So I'm quite qualified to answer these questions and talk about the topic. The very first thing is that freelancing allows you to get a more diversified experience and also faster, because chances are you're going to work with clients for maybe like a couple of weeks to a couple of months at a time, and maybe you're going to have also like longer term contracts. But if you're freelancing and you're creating like fixed projects and things like that, it's going to be more varied, your clientele. So you're going to work with more people, more businesses in different areas. So you're going to get a lot of experience, which is going to be harder to get if you're just working a full-time job at a company. So I would say that's a big plus, because you definitely get a varied experience. The other cool thing about freelancing is the fact that you can pretty much take time off whenever you want. So if you finished a couple of the projects that you have going on, you can literally take a holiday without giving notice to pretty much anyone. You can also manage your time as you wish. So for example, during my days, when I'm just working with freelance clients, I can literally like wake up and pretty much structure the day however I want to. Maybe I have like a call or two during the day, or even more than that, but that's usually rare. The cool thing about it is that you book the call whenever it's a good time for you specifically. So you can kind of like manage your time however you prefer. You can also potentially make more money. That really depends on your experience level and also your negotiating skills, as well as the type of client you are talking to, because obviously one of the things that you're going to figure out right away when you're freelancing is the importance of pre-qualifying clients, and that's going to be a skill which you're going to learn along the way, along with sales skills and marketing skills. Another big pro of freelancing is you don't usually have to deal with company politics. So if you're working full-time at a job, usually you would have like a company politics, and especially in like the degree by which that happen really depends on the company. Especially if you're working with like bigger companies, they're going to have like more company politics, and even things like a lot of meetings and things like that. But usually when you're freelancing, it's not that big of a deal. So definitely something which I would consider a pro, so a big check. Let's talk about the cons, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Freelancing has some serious cons. The very first one is that you don't have any paid time off. So if you're working at a company, of course, you're going to have like some time off, some holidays. But when you're freelancing, you're pretty much establishing your structure, you're deciding and managing your time as you wish. So the con is that you don't usually have any time off, and you also don't have any benefits, which is definitely something which is cool. If you're working at a full-time job, you usually would have benefits at the end of the quarters or the year. But when you're freelancing, you're pretty much all alone, and it really depends on like the amount you make. It really depends on the relationship you have with the client, and especially the results and the value you're bringing to the table. So in that case, sorry, no benefits. Also, growth opportunities are more limited. That's definitely something which I didn't foresee when I first went into freelancing, but essentially one of the cons is that there's not much growth unless you kind of like create those opportunities yourself, and more rarely it's going to be up to the client to actually like give you like more opportunities. But if you do like a project really well and the client is happy, there can be like more work, but usually it's not doesn't happen as often as you may think. And especially because if someone is hiring a freelancer, they have a specific project or goal in mind, and if they want like more work more often, usually they would try and bring you on either full time or part time. Another big con of freelancing is all the paperwork and the taxes and all of the bureaucracy that's associated with running your own business. Because at the end of the day, if you're a freelancer, you're pretty much running your own business. You're doing the outreach to find new clients, you're doing the fulfillment, which is doing the design work, you're doing the customer service, which is you're replying to all of the feedback, all of the messages, and also managing the relationship which you have with the person you're with, your client. And you're doing pretty much everything: the marketing, the advertising. There's a lot of things involved, but one of the most boring things is for sure like the accounting, the bureaucracy. In fact, my biggest suggestion is to try and outsource as much as you can, as fast as you can. If you don't have the resources at first, just bear in it, I guess. But if you have some money, definitely like hire an accountant and try to outsource all of the bureaucracy. At least that's what I do, because I can't really be asked to, uh, you want to keep track of the numbers and all that, but you don't want to do like minuscule tasks all the time, because you have a business to run. So you just want to focus on what's really important and then allocate and dedicate time to that. Also, being a freelancer can be lonely, especially during these times where we have this pandemic going on. And one of my best recommendations is to try and find either like co-working spaces, or just try and connect, because if you're a freelancer and you're working from home especially, it can be both boring and also lonely at times. And if it's like the first week that you're trying this thing out, it's going to seem like amazing. You don't have to go and do the commute to your job, and you're saving all that time and money for allocating in other things. But the reality is, after a while, it's kind of like gets boring. So that's definitely something you have to consider, and you want to engineer your life in a way that you kind of like compensate for this aspect of freelancing. Also, another con of freelancing is the fact that you're not guaranteed to have work in any specific month. So one of the things that I really like to do is to kind of do a hybrid between freelancing and actually working full time with a company. And that is, I like to have part-time contracts and maybe some freelance gigs here and there. I used to do it a lot. I used to do a lot of freelancing earlier this year. Nowadays, I'm just working with one or two companies part-time or almost full-time, and I try to keep my agenda that way, because that way I have stability, I have a predictable minimum income each and every month, and then I can pitch also higher prices when I'm freelancing, because I don't really depend on that potential income. So I don't really care if they accept the project or not. And that gives a great advantage, especially when you're trying to sell, but also financially and psychologically it makes me feel like really good about the entire financial situation. So that's definitely something you can consider. You can do a hybrid, so you can do long-term contracts, or you can create a project outline which is going to last a couple of weeks or a couple of months, so you have a longer time covered. So this is pretty much it when it comes to my thoughts on freelancing. Now I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on both on this video, and what do you think or the pros and cons of freelancing. And if you have any advice, feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section. And if you're interested in this kind of videos, I have a YouTube channel with over 300 videos, both covering UI UX design, freelance topics such as the one in this video, but also I have many software tutorials. And if you're interested in that, feel free to check out my channel and subscribe and turn on the bell notification if you're interested in receiving notifications each and every time a video is uploaded. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.